Well everyone, the iPhone 13 Pro is by far one of my most favorite phones of all time, and every time I get to talk about this phone, I get so excited because it is probably one of the best iPhones I could still recommend every single person out there to buy because it's older now, it's cheaper in the used market, it's been out for a couple of years, and it holds up so well against the iPhone 15 Pros that there are still lots and lots of advantages of picking up and buying a device like the iPhone 13 Pro. So, if you want to pick up the iPhone 13 Pro or some other iPhones I would recommend buying this year, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there and you can help support the channel at the same time. Now, I have a lot of personal love for this phone because this was the iPhone that I was using for like 2 years, actually over 2 years, since 2021, the day this phone came out and was released to the public, all the way up until like 2-3 weeks ago. I was using this phone on an everyday basis. It was my go-to device, and it was probably the best iPhone I ever owned at that moment. I did end up switching to my 15 Pro. In fact, I bought an iPhone 14 Pro that I made videos with and everything, and I didn't even switch over to that. I probably should have, looking back, but I never even switched over to that, and I don't even feel like I missed out on anything. So that's a quick love story about this phone that I had. The thing with the iPhone 13 Pro that I love a lot about it is the exterior. The fact that this phone had that 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display and it was a 120Hz panel by far was one of my most favorite things going on for this particular phone. The thing you have to remember, every iPhone before this had a 60Hz display, so the fact that this iPhone finally brought it back in 2021, it was a very important thing for them to do, because that future-proofed the display of this iPhone for a long period of time. The notch I do get that some people like and don't like, I really don't even care about that too much. My 15 Pro with the dynamic island, it's not even that big of a deal. The 13 Pro's panel is still very, very good and still easily one of my most favorite things going on for that particular device. Now the rest of the build quality is still very much top tier. The iPhone 13 Pro, you're essentially getting these flat sides with this reflective material, which is nice because on the 15 Pros, they actually removed this. So it's not the reflective material anymore, it's just one solid color. With the iPhone 13 Pro, I think this build is actually better than what you're getting on the newer iPhones in my opinion. It feels like a solid slab of gold in your hand. It feels so expensive when you're feeling it without a case. Even with the case on, this thing still looks very good. You're getting the lightning port at the bottom, which is great. I think lightning is still very, very good, and you're still getting a very good, port from a lightning port. But I will say USB-C is more convenient. On the back side, you're getting your frosted glass back, which still looks and feels very premium. By far, again, one of my most favorite things going on for this particular display. You're also getting that triple camera setup on the top left corner with the LiDAR sensor, which is great. You're getting your MagSafe capability, wireless charging. Still probably one of the best feeling phones you can buy. And again, this is a massive advantage of this phone because it looks and feels so expensive and it just looks so premium. It's just so insane to me. Now the fact that this phone has been out for a couple of years now means that the price of this thing has gone down significantly, and you can buy these things in the used market for probably half of what this thing cost about 2 years ago. So I do think that's a pretty big advantage because you're getting a phone that probably costs half of what the iPhone 15 Pro costs, probably even less, I would say about half right now, but you're not getting half of a phone. You're getting probably 85% of what the 15 Pro is on the 13 Pro. It's actually insane how good of a job Apple did with the iPhone 13 Pro. So definitely from a pricing standpoint, going throughout the whole entire year of 2024, this is a very good year from that perspective because it holds up so well and basically everything I've thrown at it from a body standpoint. Now, camera-wise, I use this camera so much. I took so many photos and so many videos, so many memories I've taken, on the lens of the iPhone 13 Pro. And anytime I look back at the photos, I'm looking at photos now that I've taken with the iPhone 13 Pro right now, and it's such a good camera. It is a solid camera, and I've never complained once about this phone. Now, to be fair, I haven't really complained too much about the cameras I've owned on a lot of other phones either. So with my 12 Pro I had before this, or my i11 Pro, or 10 or 10s, those phones I never complained too much because they were the best at the time. And the 13 Pro, even though I used it for over 2 years, I never complained about the camera. It was very, very good. You're getting those triple camera setups on the backside so that, 12 megapixel wide ultra-wide telephoto lens and that ability of filming 12 megapixel cameras or the photos on the front, 4K at 60 on the front and the back. Very, very good cameras. It's a very solid camera. And once again, there's not really a lot to complain about from the camera standpoint because it looks very good. 4K 60 on the front and the back, cinematic mode. I filmed a lot of stuff, like I said, with this type of camera, and I really don't even have that much to complain about. It's such a solid camera. I'm such a fan of it, and that's by far one of my most favorite things going on for this particular phone. It's just the camera is just so solid. So without a doubt, definitely gets a thumbs up for me from there. Now, in terms of the software side, this is also another pretty big advantage from this phone. Now, I'm not a time traveler, so I don't know exactly how this phone's going to hold up in the future, but if I kind of had to guesstimate, I would probably say that this phone is probably going to last probably another 3 to 4 years. So probably another 3 full OS updates. So it's probably going to get iOS 18, 19, and 20. And then it's probably going to get a year of security updates on top of that. So again, I'm not 100% too sure, but if I had to kind of guess, I mean, that's probably what I'd say. So with that being said, since we're looking at this phone in the year of 2024, you are going to be perfectly fine for the iPhone 13 Pro throughout the whole entire duration of this year. This is easily going to be one of the best phones you can buy for the remainder of this year. It's such a solid phone. It has so much performance and so much capability and so much power inside of it that I couldn't really think of like a better phone from that perspective. It's a very good device. I'm a very big fan of it. And from the software side, I mean, this phone's going to still be giving you flagship features. And honestly, if you buy this phone today, you're going to be getting features probably in June or September whenever iOS 18 comes out officially. You're going to be getting, iOS 18 features and software features that you haven't even gotten yet. So your phone is actually going to be getting better, and by the time you're done using it, you're going to be getting even more features than what you bought the phone with, which is pretty insane. So that's something I love about these phones, and I can talk about software all day with you guys, but definitely from the iPhone 13 Pro's perspective, software side gets a thumbs up for me for sure. Now, performance-wise, this was another reason why I just didn't really feel like upgrading from my 13 Pro for so long, and that was because it was an amazing performing phone at the time. You were getting that Apple A15 Bionic chip inside of it with 6 gigabytes of RAM. Now, I will tell you, Apple has made or said they made a lot of strides in performance from one device to the other. So from the 13 Pro to the 15 Pro, we now have more RAM and we now have that Pro chipset inside that's dedicated for the Pro models. But I will tell you, to be completely honest, I felt like the performance of the iPhone 13 Pro was still very good. And for every single thing that I do on my phone, I didn't really feel like this was a bad performing device. And I felt like this was still plenty good in terms of performance from everything I threw at it. Now, I'm not like a heavy user of my iPhone. I'm a very heavy user on my Mac, so I use my Mac a lot. But for all my basics, I'm a very basic user on my iPhone. I just check iMessages, I chat a lot, I text a lot, I'm on Snapchat and TikTok and stuff like that. But other than that, I'm not really playing games on my phone or editing videos on my phone. But even if I wanted to do that, that would have still been perfectly fine on my 13 Pro. I do kind of feel like I could replace a lot of stuff I do on my Mac on my iPhone, but that would be kind of annoying. I feel like my iPhone 13 Pro is still a very, very good performing phone, once again, from basically everything that I have really ever threw at it. And to kind of sum it up, what I'll definitely tell you is, I loved my iPhone 13 Pro, and I still love my iPhone 13 Pro. It is by far one of the best phones Apple has ever made, and if you can buy this phone, for $500 something, it's a no-brainer. It's a very good phone, and I can't really think of a better option out there for a majority of people to buy rather than this specific device. It's a very good phone. It has so much capability and so much quality, and like I said, it's kind of like a no-brainer. I love this phone a lot. I would 100,000% recommend buying it, and I can't even think of a phone I'd recommend more than this. Go for the 14 Pro and the 15 Pro, but for a well-rounded phone, this is more than enough for probably a lot of stuff that you're going to do with your device. And you can buy this phone today and keep it for like 4 or 5 years from now, to be honest. So that pretty much covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. The like button helps me so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.